welcome to sunny morning here at the El Dorado Royale Spa Resort in Mexico's Riviera Maya. We're live, it's 11 o'clock, we've got a beautiful day and a great show for you here today. I'm Elliot Bullman and my co-host.
And I am Silvia Reza. Very happy to be here as well.
Great to have you here, Silvia. You've got some great information for us later on coming up in the show this morning. What are you going to be telling us about?
Well, about motivation. Hang in there because today is going to be a very interesting topic for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we all need a little bit of motivation right now after what we've been seeing going on in Capitol Hill the last couple of days. What is going on over there? Our top story about Gary Cohn's resignation. We'll be right back with you. Let's get started. Welcome, and let's start off this morning with talking about this top developing story about Gary Cohn resigning yesterday, Sylvia. I mean, yet another top advisor in the Trump cabinet. And, you know, this has been on the cards for the last few months. He's been talking about trying to calm Mr. Trump down on a lot of this this business rhetoric, America first. I mean, but he's not the first head to go, but, you know, we were kind of expecting this, right? And at the moment, Trump's emotional state is kind of questionable. Most of the key advisors and other Republicans have been saying this week, we don't know what's coming next. He didn't even really consult with his trade advisor team before he made the announcement last week about the steel and the aluminium tariff hike. And now the rest of the world is in a spiral. I mean, we've had a lot of feedback from China, and even now the European Union Commissioner, she's pitched in again this morning saying expect retaliatory measures. We hope he's going to pull his head in. We hope he's going to have a rethink. From your perspective, I mean, help us out here. What is going on with Donald Trump? Well,
actually, I am in shock, but I'm not surprised.
Okay.
Because exactly it has to do with your question. Well, number one, he is a person that has, since always, a huge ego controlling him, manipulating him, and a person that has these conditions, of course, it's kind of difficult to be able to handle a country because this is not be able to running a company. Just like, let's say, a father of a family or a mother of a family is not the same being the mother or the father of a family than the manager or the director of a company, right? So this is more or less the same. I mean, he's a great business negotiator, he's a great businessman, but definitely he has no idea about politics, and also neither he has all the preparation that he needs and he requires, such as, for instance, how about administration and psychological organization. I mean, maybe he should jump into some seminars or courses or something because he needs to be a lot more prepared. And the reason why I'm saying this is, or the fundament is that 2 people from his cabinet already quit. And that's really amazing because they are very conscious that he is going to be able to damage the country's economy. What's happening? He doesn't understand that.
I mean, exactly. They're quitting because he's putting his own people at risk. I mean, he's basically using his people as a shield. Last week, his communications director quit because she's pulled into the Russia investigation. Obviously, that's rattling his cage. You know, Trump is extremely furious about the special investigation. He's tried, you know, he's fired Comey from the FBI. But every time he makes a move, they're making one more move. And that's definitely going on his mind. I think that's pushing up his agenda. I think he's definitely in a hurry to get things done now because he keeps obviously talking about NAFTA's going too slow. We're going to come on to that in a minute. But what's really my main worry as a leader, you know, what is it that he's going to need? Because to stabilize and to get the rest of the world kind of, they're very nervous, and this could set the stock markets tumbling. This could really cause a real problem on Wall Street because up until now, We had a small scare on Wall Street about 10 days ago. Prices corrected, but this announcement has got a lot of industry nervous right now. Gary Cohn wanted people, he wanted the business leaders in the manufacturing industries to get together, have that round table. That's not going to happen.
Exactly.
Not while you've got Peter Navarro and Wilbur Ross in Trump's ear, who are pro-America, America first, everything that Trump said in the campaign build-up. He's now trying to deliver it, but in a hurry. Aren't you seeing that? You know, he's even with Mexico.
Look, I'm sure they are following, the new economist advisors are following Trump's lead, but I'm sure that as a professionist, they know exactly what you were talking earlier. Every country has a commercial relationship with some other countries. So you cannot, number one, you cannot switch from the night to the morning just like that, okay? And if you are working pro-America and for America, which is normal, right? I will be working for Mexico and China will be working for China. That is completely understandable. However, what they need to understand is that the moment you get out a deal that you already made before, you are going to damage your country, you are going to damage your economy as well. No, you are not going to damage the other person or the other country. The reason why, I mean, if China doesn't sell something to United States on the same price, who do you think is going to sell it to? You know what? Yeah. There are over 100 countries in the world who somebody's going to buy that from China. Same from Mexico. Honestly, I have a story. I don't know if you have heard this story about the milky cow. Have you heard about that?
The milky cow. Okay.
This is good.
I love your stories.
Well, the milky cow. And I think this is going to happen. Okay, this is like a tale for children, but I think you're gonna get the point out of this story. The milky cow is there's in one little town, very poor little town. There's a milky cow and only one family that they are getting feed from the milky cow. But then somebody comes and kills the milky cow, so they stay with nothing. And then a year goes by. And then the killer of the cow comes back to the little town, and guess what? He doesn't find the family. And he's like, man, you know, I swear I killed the cow right here, and the family was right here. So where do they go? But instead, in the same place, there's a huge house, huge, beautiful. And here is a man answering the door. And he's like, hey, do you know the family? A year ago, there was a family right here. And he goes, yeah, it's us. What happened is, that somebody, an asshole, create a kill our cow. The only food we had, it was from that cow.
Okay.
And he killed it. And then, but once that happened, then my wife and I, we start to seed some tomatoes and fruits and stuff like that. And then we create a lot more production. So we start selling to the town, and then we create more production. So we start commercializing everything to other cities. And now, guess what? We became rich. So that's what's going to happen to Mexico. And I think at a certain point, and you know, that you said something about, well, we will discuss later about the pizza, because I think it has to do with a lot of things that you said before. Mexico is emerging, and some of the reasons why is because Trump is making these huge mistakes, but at a certain point I think Mexico will appreciate that as well. But this is what I believe that he has some really psychological conditions that is pushing him to make these type of decisions that are going to really cause some economical damage to the United States, unfortunately. I
just want to kind of, you know, before we wrap up on this situation, because there's so much to talk about, but what about the role of his wife? I mean, Ivanka, can she kind of calm him down? I mean, what can she do to get his feet on the ground and get his head in the right place right now? What do you think she should be doing? Oh,
well, I think that's a little difficult because I don't see her. She has this character to be able to do something like that.
He's a very strong character. I don't know.
He has.
Talking about what we were saying about yesterday, listening to one another in the relationship. Is he capable to listen?
He doesn't listen to. Well, he only listens to his own ego. That's the only entity that he actually listens. Not one person. I don't think he actually listens to one single person in the whole world. And that's really horrible because he feels and he thinks he knows everything, and that's not the point. That's not how you rule a country.
We're going to have to leave it on there. We're going to a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll be analysing more top stories and developing breaking news here on Sunny Morning.